Hey man, we back at it again. We know we got something special. I'm with my main man.
Mike Daniel Jr.
This is Q. He leading the way, and I am E Tally. And we both I can speak on this because I was next to the man. We had a great weekend. We had a great weekend. The Gasso Summer Championship games were in effect, and they were at the SWAC where the NBA division was held. 128 teams. Let's talk about it, Mike.
Well, first thing, right? Want to give shout out and praise to Blue and his Gasso staff for doing the best they possibly could in having those two divisions because they split they split the 128 up into two. You had two monster pools of 64. And I think they did a really, really, really solid job of the differentiation of the 64, and it was just a great event. So shout out to those guys for what's our phrase that pays. There's levels and lanes,
Levels and lanes to this,
putting
and
putting
he did
folks
that.
where they belong.
So you can
Great.
say that you can say the top division was the survive in advance. Am I right?
It I mean, there's no hiding that was the top division. Yes.
And then you
Yes.
had
And the Gasso Madness
you had
was what you would
madness.
call the NCAA of the NBA division,
Well,
if so to speak,
well, no,
or
you
the
can.
gold of the NBA.
Well, no,
Your
you can.
platinum, your gold.
You no, no, you can name it like the way the UIL is doing this year, where they have the two divisions or the two setups to where as though you got your big schools and you got your small schools. So let's say it like that. You got your
Yeah,
big teams out there because the team shout out to the team that won the survive in advance was the JL3
JL3 baby.
EYBL 16U, and then shout out to the HD Toros. If I'm correct, they're the 17 U's that won the Madness. If I'm correct,
No, you're not correct.
no, I'm not. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I am so wrong on that. Again, yes, I am. I want to give a shout out to those guys for playing and making the event, the Elite Eight. That's what I wanted to get them a shout out for.
Well,
I
as a,
am
as
wrong.
a, as a hoops elite, as a hoops elite in the surviving advance, made that Elite Eight.
No,
And
but the Toros made the Madness Elite Eight, and I wanted to make sure I give a shout out to those guys. That's what I wanted to do. But if I'm correct, the actual 17U won the Madness. If I'm pulling it up right now as we speak, and so I just wanted to make sure I get.
Utoros, Utoros
No, 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 no. On the Madness was a
on
17U
on the
group
on the
that won.
madness on the madness side, the overall Texas United,
Yeah.
Team United won
Yes.
madness. Now on the consolation side, the team that lost the first game and then won out the rest of the way. We got to
Yeah.
give our stars to San Antonio's DBA. DBA won that.
DBA. Okay. Okay. Give a shout out to DBA. Good job over there,
And and
DBA.
and and, and a shout out to uh Carmelo Martinez, Roosevelt High School. He got most outstanding player honors as well.
Shout out to that. Shout out to that. That is big for the San Antonio guys to get some love from the gas.
Yeah,
So when we go to
you
those
know,
events, that's what they always say. I always say we guys can't compete. And I believe it was a lot of competition this weekend. But I want to give a shout out to all the 26s. And a lot of teams from the class of 2026 played up. A lot
your
of
pro
teams
skills
played up.
group, your pro skills group did
Um,
well.
yeah,
SA
they
group,
Miller Group did real well. He
that,
competed tough, and his
yes,
standout DJ Miller, Rich Guerrera. Uh, oh shoot, I draw a blank right now. But my man, oh man, this young man, Marcus Taylor. Wow, hey, Marcus showed that he's going to be a good prospect. So please put eyes on that young man, Marcus Taylor. I repeat, Marcus Taylor from Steele High School. He's a 2026. That guy, that young man showed he's special. He's special. But hey, you didn't mention follow through for some
I
reason.
never let you fall through.
Come on, man, don't do that, man. Hey, look. Come on, don't do that. Come on, don't do that. Just like that's like me saying I'm not gonna mention pro skills, which will always happen. But hey, man, well, I'm gonna give a shout out to Hagen Hurst, my guy. The first game I watched, I didn't watch a lot of your games, but this one game I did, make sure I was at. My man dropped 31, 31, 31. No, well, again, I gotta See, I hate when you teams do that to me. I go off what the stat sheet say. So the stat sheet is official for me. That's where I get my data from. So that way I don't ever, you can't correct me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you might have watched the film and that little fellow might have been sleeping on a free throw he missed. But hey, still 31. Come on, man. Let's talk about it.
Well, it wasn't. Let me tell you about that 31, right? Our first game Thursday night, man, I don't know if it was the same day drive, the 9 o'clock game. We weren't in the building Thursday night. And the team that actually went on to make the Final Four, they spanked us up pretty good. We ended up losing by 18 to SEB Ambition, 17U. And so that was a good wake-up call because we woke up the next day, we bounced back and we beat a 17U team by 22. And so that game that you saw of Hagen's, it was great because uh the first that was game number 4 that you witnessed. Games 1, 2, and 3, he hadn't had the just complete scoring dominant game, right? He was getting 12, 14, 8, but he owned the backboards, ET. Disciplined defense with walling up, getting in position, understanding verticality. He was doing other things, creating shots for his teammates, being unselfish in the post, which I'm working on him to get him more selfish, showing him how to go faster when you get that ball instead of waiting for the defense to get to you. Go before they get there. So some
Right.
things we're working on, but he had been having an all-around stellar performance that it didn't show points wise, but
Right.
I'm watching the game. I'm in the game with him. I see everything that he's doing. He made a decision that he was going to average more than between 12 15 rebounds, right? 5 assists a game. And he did that. And he was a presence defensively. So after losing, we took a tough loss on what was that
Thursday.
Thursday?
Thursday.
Thursday we played, we
Yeah.
lost.
I
We
think I
won.
watched y'all play Friday, if I'm correct.
Uh,
That was a Friday game, if I'm correct.
uh we lost on Saturday. That's where
Okay.
we
Okay.
lost Thursday, we won Friday, we lost on Saturday to a C3 select team out of Austin. They had some graduated seniors and some incoming seniors, and we took them to the wire, but you can't turn the basketball over 6 times in a row in a
Yes.
second half against in on this level and think you're going to be successful, and
Right.
so
Right.
we gave that one away, and that team capitalized on our errors. I talked to the team after that game, I told them, I'm like, you know what, guys, I'm proud of you, but you guys got to be better. I'm like, you guys are competing. We're not getting ran out the gym. We lost by 11 points, you know what I'm saying? Not getting ran
Mhm.
out the gym. I saw some of the scores and man, I'm like, man, I'm glad I ain't in one of them games, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And to wake up that Sunday and for him to come and have a 31 point, 16 rebound performance.
Right.
Sakeva had a 14 point, 12 rebound performance. My
Mhm.
former five just taking advantage and owning, what we can do. I was happy for him to have that breakout point scoring game because he had been just kind of, just not the major numbers as we want to call it. But
Mhm.
man, for him to have that breakout game and then to follow it up with our second game on Sunday against SA Premier and have another one.
Yeah.
Uh he had what was it? Let me think. 15 and 12. Sam had 14 and 16 in that game. And so my two bigs, 27 and 27 points and 30 rebounds between those two, just dominant paint performances from those guys. And
Right.
it was great to see. We shot the ball. We shot over 40% from the three-point line all weekend. And so that was solid. We had lots of assists that led to baskets. And so that was great. That was great.
Well, I like this weekend format. And again, shout out to the Gasso staff, Tim Littlefield also. I like it to where though it felt like you got a lot of games. Guys got a lot of games to play. And to start on the Thursday, and to wind up almost playing 5 games that you lost multiple times or at least lost at least once. That's a good thing for the players and the kids and the families because again, you out there since Thursday. It's the format almost like the final six, a bracket play of 64, to where as though you play one game a day, then you kind of dwindle it down. But to see that was really really good because that allowed me to see you play SA Premier. There's 7 teams in, there's 6 teams play. Uh, I got a chance to see a few other teams that I was watching. A team that really impressed me, and again, we talked about making the Elite Eight, is the Hoops Elite team.
Who?
No, Hoops Elite, Hoops Elite. I
Oh yeah,
really,
yeah, yeah.
I watched,
And survive. Yes.
yeah, I watched them play. There, matter of fact, there, I believe the game they were playing for, I guess this was third or well, it had to be 7th place or whatever place it was. But to watch them play on Sunday, and to watch them just man, you could tell they were mad at somebody because they lost the game. And they took
Well,
it out on somebody, and it was just
what
whoo
happened
man.
is what happened is the game that they lost when they made the Elite Eight, they lost to Team Superstars, who man, guard play rules the world. But what happened is in that game, tough officiating, right? But they went iceberg cold in that Elite Eight game. I'm talking
Yeah,
like they are a drive, kick, play fast, play with speed, get shots up, knock down shots. They have tons of shooters, tons of penetrators, tons of glass eaters, but they went ice cold. I'm talking like
yeah,
didn't make a single three in the entire second half. And when that 3 point, when that three ball is your butter, now your shooters get to hesitate and they can't. They couldn't find the rhythm. They couldn't knock one down.
yeah.
And so pissed from the referees, pissed from, not finishing the job. And so yeah, I bet you they carried that into Sunday, man. I bet they damn did. Bet they
Yeah.
did.
They they played extremely well, and again, that was the only game I got a chance to really watch because I was following the Pro Skills group, then that one game I did watch them play. Man, they put it all together. They look really really good. Again, their team towards I know a lot of their players, where they come from. I'm really going to enjoy watching them independently because those guys look really really well together. They got a few kids, if I'm correct, from Brandeis, O'Connor, and those 2 schools I didn't give enough love to last year. But watching those guys develop into what I saw this weekend was really really good. It's awesome. You mentioned rhythm. Yes, I did get the chance to watch those guys. Man, that
Man,
little
I'm
that
telling Dunk he
26
got to
group
change.
is
Hey,
illegal.
I'm telling Dunk he got to change his name to Cheat Code because
Mm-hmm.
good God Almighty, like dude,
Yeah,
they come off the bench and they don't lose a single damn beat, man.
yeah, they don't. They don't.
That group, talk about size and just the understanding. Fun to watch. Fun to
It
watch that
is.
group.
It is.
That group right there is just like Boo Man's 26 group that won the Mother's Day
Yes.
gas though, and it
Yes.
just like
Yes.
that. When I look at those 26s, I'm like, God bless. Like these are same sophomores, like, and they're just impressive to watch, man. They really are. But rhythm, they definitely put on this past weekend in Dallas. They did the damn thing. Yes, they did.
And that's why I started off with saying, it was a live period gas, so and a lot of 25s and 20 unsigned senior 24s were there, but to watch the 26s take over, it was almost that's what might want to call it 2026 takeover because man, it was a lot of good talent to see. DJ Miller averaged 15 points a game out of all 5 games. To watch that and see him just coming into the guard that he's trying to be. Uh, Shout out to the 25s also for pro skills. I got a chance to see them play all 5 games, of course, because I'm following them, and to watch that last game on Sunday, and to watch the guard play allow one player to just have it going and just continue to have it going, and that was Ian Rizzo dropped 27. Uh, so to have him do that, but it all really started from his teammates, Zaki Thompson, Jalen Thompson, Jordan Thomas. Those guys, they just played so unselfish because again, certain players got to get the ball, and man, he didn't. he played out his mind. But again, he had so much help from his guard play to where as though just gave him that freedom.
To piggyback on that, I was a gym rat this weekend. The format, one game. So I got to see a lot of basketball, and I saw teams of smaller teams, but tough guard play, giving folks hell and headache. And I saw big teams with mediocre guard play struggle. And
Yeah,
so guard play is ruling the world right now,
yeah,
man.
it
Guard,
is.
and if you have top tier guard play and mediocre bigs, you about to cause some trouble. That's what I picked up. If there's anything I picked up from this weekend, it was like, okay, guard plays ruling the world. Because man, I watched some top tier tough dudes this past weekend, man.
Right. Well, that's why I was, I brought up, pro skills a little bit because we got a little guard on our team, man. He's kind of like he's definitely under the radar because no one really knows him. And in this last season, he's just been. I watched him with school ball. He goes to steal, and that's Jalen Thompson. Man, that
One of the
kid is
twins, right?
hard, huh?
One of the twins, right?
No. Jalen Thompson is they call him Jay Bird, and
No. Does it
just a little.
still have a set of brothers? Don't y'all have a
No,
set
no,
of
they
brothers?
graduated. They graduated.
No,
It was
oh, that's
2024.
what's in my head.
Yeah,
Those
they
they
go.
already okay.
Yeah,
That's
they
what
go
there you go. There you
Lawrence University. But Jay Bird, man, I'm telling you, that young man. I don't. I think he thinks I'm playing with him when I tell him that I really love his development because, I told him straight up, and I was really honest to him. I said, hey, man, last year watching you play, you tried to go downhill, and everything wasn't going downhill. But now
What's
he's
his
starting.
position?
Go ahead.
What's his position?
Oh, he's a point guard. He's a pure
Oh,
point guard.
so
He's just
so
little though.
so
He's just little.
so this
You
point
gotta you
guard
gotta have
is
that
gonna be
size.
he's gonna be locked in over there with Sam and Maurice.
Yes, but and that's the problem. He has Sam Maurice to compete with to where though man, like I say, that class of 26 class, that's one of the schools that have a bunch of 26s that he's going to fight for his minutes. But if he continues to keep playing the way he's playing, honestly, it's a no brainer. It's a no brainer. That young man will get a lot of good minutes. He will get to show and showcase how good he is as a guard. He can, go downhill. He can shoot mid range. I don't like him shooting the three so much, but again, that's just my personal preference. But overall play, good little young little player. Again, this college is out there for everybody. You just got to find the right spot for him. So as far as that, rhythm definitely caught our eye, and really they was already on the radar. So they not like they flying under the radar or anything like that.
Right.
Um, who else? I'm trying to think who else did we get to watch, or did I get to watch that really kind of stood out besides Hoops Elite, Rhythm, and of course there's always teams from Houston and Dallas that we play against that kind of do their job and like, oh, okay, yeah, they're pretty good. But I was looking at your numbers and I see that, what, 3 of your 5 games, you had 60 points. One
Yeah.
game you had 50, and then one of the games you lost, you had, 40 something or something like that. Let me look at it again. But I see you're a team that, hey man, I hold you to 50. I'm the first one to 50, I can beat you.
You
That's what it
know,
looked like, man. Because you did like a 60, I think it was a 69 and a 66. I'm like, oh, okay. Your numbers of play is good. Got it well spread out there.
even in the two losses that we suffered, right?
Mm-hmm.
In those two games, the first game, we're gonna call Thursday Bruno, right? And I don't know if you've seen it. We're not gonna talk about Bruno. We just
Okay,
gonna
got it.
we
Let
gonna
that go.
we were in a twilight zone, and we just couldn't we couldn't get out that twilight zone. We had 34 points.
Right.
We couldn't. They had some athleticism that I don't know what was going on. We couldn't snap out of it, and so we bounced back the next day and we put up 66.
And is that why Hagen had the 31 point performance that day too?
I mean, I
Beating
don't
them.
know. Then we dropped one. We had 49 points, and then we come back the next morning and you know,
69
we're
to 63.
yeah,
That's good.
31
That's
of the
two good games.
31 of the 69. And then against Premier, we had 62. And so, yeah, you know, we can definitely get numbers. Uh, we struggle with athletic teams,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't adjust. And again, we're not going to talk about Bruno. I don't know what the hell happened. We're not going to talk about Bruno. But the C3 game where we're going to put up 49, uh, when, you know, this is, you know, I tell people all the time, you're never going to hear me blame a referee on
Right.
any outcome of a game,
Right.
right? You will see me work referees during the game, right? You're gonna see
Right.
me work referees during the game. But
Right.
when the dust is settled, smoke is cleared, you're never gonna ever hear me ever make mention of a referee. And I give you an example. The game that we lost to C3 Select, which trust
Mm-hmm.
me, we were very capable of beating that team. It's 47-45. We're up to, right? We're going toe to toe with these guys. We're up to 6 straight possessions, consecutive turnovers where we didn't even get a shot at the rim, right? So
Mm-hmm.
then when I'm breaking the game film down and I do the overall stat line, put those 6 turnovers, not even the remainder of the turn, just those 6 turnovers, right? The
Mm-hmm.
11 free throws that we missed that game, right? And I'm gonna just stop right there. I'm not gonna factor in any layups, any 3-point shots. I'm gonna just factor 6 turnovers, 11 free throws, right? Now watch this. Give me half of those turnover possessions back, and let's say that we score, right?
Okay.
That's 6 to 9 points. Half of those 11 free throws, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 6 points. So when you take 6 to 9, we'll call that 7, and you take another 6, there's 13. When you lose by 11 and you have 13 points of goofy,
Yeah.
no need to talk about. And again, this isn't even factoring layups, threes, or the
Right.
other turnovers in the game. I'm just
Right.
talking about those 6 in a row. You're never going to hear me talk about a referee after a game. Yes, you're going to see me work the hell out of a referee during a ball game. You damn skippy. But after a game, no, we gonna start right. We gonna deal with us. And they understood that. And so, you know, when we talked and we had our meeting before we came back on Sunday to play 2 games, well, we were only scheduled for one. We had to win to play the second one. Hey guys, I want to play 2 games today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's say I want to play 2 games today. Being able to bounce back because we're still a young ball club, right?
Correct.
I get to bring this exact same team back next year.
Correct.
And so for me, damn, if we were competing here like this, I know we're getting ready to spend the next 90 days in the lab once we come back from Vegas and we
Right.
got lab work. Then you guys got your high school season. Now I get my exact same team back in. We get to go be the 17 U's,
Right.
right? And so it's exciting because man, that was our first time in the NBA. I was nervous, you know. I remember I was nervous
Yeah.
as hell. Like,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
am I doing this right? So to go 3-2, where one we really gave away, I'll accept that first one. They waxed us, but we gave that other one away. But to still finish 3-2, a positive on the NBA, I'm excited. You know, I'm excited. But there's work to be done. There's work to be done. And thank God for Game Changer Baller TV, where we can go watch film.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, I don't know, point at that guy. Somebody gave me a nugget 2 years ago about watch film. You
Yeah.
know, you gave me another nugget, record your practices, right? I'm sharing
Yeah.
some gems right there for those y'all that are paying attention because you can show players habits and how they translate to games, i.e., telling a player, can you please stop jumping to make passes?
Right.
And then you get in the game and you jump to make a pass and you wonder why you're turning the basketball over. And then you show them, hey, remember on Tuesday when I lost my mind and you couldn't figure out why I went 8 nuts?
Right.
Here's why. Hey, look at this. Here we had an opportunity to go up 8. We didn't. They went down here to 3. Now we're back in the dogfight where we had to put, just those little things. Because on this level, I told my team, I said to her, efficiency, man.
Yeah.
E- Efficiency is key. And the
Yep.
crazy part is, here's the crazy part. That C3 select team,
Yeah.
I told them, the scouting report is this, guys. We're playing a team that's a clone of us. All the size is even.
Right.
They shoot the ball just like us. This
Right.
game is going to boil down to efficiency and discipline. Who cracks first? And we cracked. We
Yeah.
crumbled. Six
Yeah.
turnovers in a row. So,
But the good part about you guys crumbling, this was like the first time really being in that kind of fire. The game's faster. Like there's a difference from NIT, NBA. I'm sorry, NIT, NCAA, NBA, and
yes,
the two levels of the NBA. You know what I'm saying? When you got your top teams, and even though you kind of split them up a little bit, but still there's levels to it. Towards that's why if you look at the winner of the Survive and Advance, it was the EYBL guys. And everybody was kind of like, oh, they were not supposed to be here. Well, at the same time, they got taken out on somebody that they're not where they want to be in Augusta, playing
but
over
but do you know something about that EYBL team?
that.
They're 26s.
Yes, they are. They're a 16U
That,
team.
that,
I
that was
led with that. I
that
led with
was a 26 group.
yes, that was, and again, but it just goes to show that you take these opportunities, and that's why I think you do a great job with your guys. Is you kind of let them know you don't take you take credit, but you don't take the credit. You pass on those nuggets of saying, hey, I got this from so and so and so and so, and I think that's good. That keeps you humble and keeps them focused to say, hey, yes, my coach don't know it all, but he knows enough to get us to where we need to be, and they follow you better that way versus trying to know it all and being like, hey, I know it all. Where I think that's where a lot of kids run into that, and when you do get stumped at one time, they lose that faith in you. But if you just start off like, hey man, I don't know it all. I get a lot of nuggets from a lot of people. I can't go wrong that way.
Man, leading into this, I'm going to tell a couple of funnies here. Watching film and giving a scouting report
Mm-hmm.
and telling my guys, like, if we execute the scouting report, you guys are going to be okay. And so remember, there's 5 points. My first point, every basketball game, take care of the ball.
Oh, yep.
So the funny part about this is like, I love to hate my team. I told my parents, y'all gonna start taking care of my hat fund because I keep breaking the damn brims of my hat, losing my mind, when they're doing goofy stuff. Love them, but they do goofy stuff time, and I can't. There's nothing to grab because referees get offended when I'm dribbling the ball, bouncing my ball. They get offended by that. So my hat's the next thing to grab. And so, the great part about when my team does goofy stuff like they did in that C3 select game,
Mm-hmm.
parents can't blame Coach Daniel because Coach Daniel not getting stripped at half court. Coach Daniel leaving his feet to make those passes, right?
Right.
Coach Dan-
Right.
So, and then even better part of it is when I get my guys huddled around the table and we're talking. The first thing, damn, Coach, we didn't take care of number one. And they know, right? And so
Right.
you can see them feeling it, like, guys. I tell them 60% of our keys, of our 5 keys, we get 60% of those keys each game. There's a hell of a chance we're going to come out victorious. So the fact that they can take accountability and they know where we went wrong,
Mm-hmm.
me, that's the biggest prize of being able to perform at an event like that. Yeah,
Right.
we can't put on the scoreboard, but we took a valuable lesson that helped us the next day because we still had 2 games the next day. And you know what they did? Game number one, we're down 8 at halftime, doing the same goofy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I, I laid into them on this one. I went off. I went off at halftime, and they responded, man,
Yeah.
and they were nuts. And just seeing the development in the moment,
Right.
that for me is probably the biggest reward, just from my group alone from this
Right.
weekend. They didn't completely fold. Hey, we're 1-2, but hey, we can still play 2 more games. And to go and get those 2 games, one against another 17U team,
Yeah.
and then to knock off, they're my brothers. Love Coach DeLeon in that premier group, but you're from the house. So to be able to knock off a San Antonio team, right? Local bragging rights, up in
Mm-hmm.
Dallas. Go home on a great note, feeling good, rest, pack.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Let's come up here in Vegas, and
Yeah.
man, we got some teams we're getting ready to face up here, man. And so I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I
Okay.
love my parents more.
Yeah.
I love my
Yeah.
parents more because they understand it, and
Right.
and, and they're realists about what's happening in the
Right.
game. And so
Right.
that peace of mind that my 26 Black parents give me, oh man, nobody's questioning playing time, nobody's questioning opportunity because
That's
everybody
that's,
gets opportunity. And
that's
so,
huge. That's huge.
dude, I can't show enough gratitude for that because I don't have to worry about Mama Susie being mad about little Johnny and his opportunities, and they understand. And man, it's so assuring, man. I can't even I can't say thank you enough to that group of parents. I can't.
Yeah. That's why I had to really, really love on our 2027s or Pro Skills 2027 Black team parents because that's how I get treated with those guys, man.
They've been
They
making noise, man. They
they
having
they
a hell of a,
are
they having a hell of a spring and summer, dude.
listen, again, part of me wish I could move them up a little bit sooner, but I don't want to because I don't want to mess up what they have going and their confidence they're building right now, getting ready to go into school ball. But yes, they are having a phenomenal year. They're doing everything that they're supposed to do in reference to they're playing the games they're playing and winning the games they're supposed to win and competing at the highest level they're supposed to compete at, even in their
Right.
losses. So it's like, yeah, you can blame a ref here and there, but like we always talk about, hey man, I can't blame a ref because the last time I checked, I can't blame a ref or a coach because last time I checked, the ref is not shooting the basketball. And since the ref's not shooting the basketball and not doing anything like that, I can't so I can't worry about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, when I see those guys play, and then when you talk about the parents of just being so supportive, now that's one thing that keeps me. It's two things that keeps me focused and doing what I do and why I do it. And I do have bad days, but for the most part, man, it's parents that really appreciate what you do. Again, I don't need the money. I just need to every now and then a parent to say, "Hey, thanks, coach. I appreciate you doing this or whatever." That's the most. That's the thing that to me that just drives me to keep doing what we do, man. And then the second thing is, man, I wanted to bring up and I wanted to give a shout out to Matai Edgecombe. Yesterday was his last day in San Antonio in the neighborhood, and he's on his way to college. Be back with his family in Chicago, and he sent me a text and in that text, he was just, telling me thank you and everything. And that right there allowed me to do this for
What
about
about?
maybe 5 more years. You know what I'm saying? To know I reached one of my players to really understand everything was what we were doing was part of growth and development. And for that young man to reach back out and say, "Hey, thank you, coach." Hey man, that's it. And I'm gonna do my damnedest to make sure I can catch out one of his games. Him and the twins, the Nash twins that you talked about. I'm gonna go check those three guys because all three of them playing for the same school. So let's hope everything goes like it's according to plan and they get some playing time. Just be 3 minutes. I'll go for 3 minutes to play, a minute to play. I don't care. I just want to go watch them don that uniform on and be in the stands cheering those guys on, man.
Yeah, yeah.
So all
So
right, man.
moving
What you
on,
got something else? You
I
got
want to
something else?
show some love
Go ahead.
to the San Antonio unit, 210 United.
Okay.
Uh, they went out. Let me get my notes. Hold on. They went out to New Orleans, Extravaganza Hoop Fest
Oh, that's
out
what
of
it's called.
New
Okay.
Orleans,
Okay. Okay.
and they took it down.
That's
They
the
took it
AAU
down.
event, correct? Am I
Yeah, and
right?
they
Yeah. Yeah.
took it
Okay.
all the way
Okay.
down, man.
Yeah.
They played 14U and they came away with the hardware and took it down. So shout out to Coach Collins and that 210 United group that are making waves. That's the same group that won the series, right?
Yes.
On the ninth
Yes.
grade last
Yes.
weekend
Yes.
at our Battle of the Alamo tournament. And he's putting the show on the road and trying to maneuver with where to go. So It's going to be exciting to see that group next year on the Gasso scene. We're going to be talking about that group next year, promise you. So congratulations, Coach Collins. Way to go out to New Orleans, Louisiana, represent San Antonio. Way to represent
Big
2-0.
shout
Good
out
job.
too. Because he called me, hey, listen, that young man wants to get on the show and talk basketball with us. I told him I let him on, man.
Man,
I let him
a
on.
lot of coaches, I keep telling them, wait till September, man.
Yeah,
September will bring you
yeah,
guys on. We got to take a breath in August, but September we'll get it popping.
yeah. They got unfortunately they got to wait, man. Yeah, you're right. Because at the same time, right now, got to go in that school ball. And hey, man, I want to get these high school
We got to
coaches on
get
this
those
line
names.
here. Like I
We got to
told
get
you,
our names right.
the Allens and the Bells and the Cantus and the Clarks. That's the guys that need to get on here, and just make sure that they, talk their kids up, and they do it already. And at the same time, that's what this platform is really for. And again, we have fun for the AAU, and we do put on, and you coach, and I'm next to the guys, Rizzo and the Millers and the Andersons. Those guys coach, but you know, I do like the AAU part, but I'm not going to fib to you. I like the high school part even more. And the only reason why I like the high school part more is just the opportunities that the high school part gives their players. So whereas though when they have a dude or two, I see the Cantus really working. I see the Clarks really working. And bring colleges. I'm talking colleges now. I'm not talking about just representatives. I'm talking about the college head coaches coming to a practice, sitting and watching a real practice, be executed. So to know that's coming up, I get really excited about it, and that's really where I want to make sure everybody understands that yes, we do a little AU talk, but that's just because that's what's going on. We want to make sure we spotlight certain kids, but the bread and butter is right there at the high school.
I'll say this: the tournament, the showcase part of the
Mm-hmm.
high school piece.
Yes.
I love that part. I hate the stuff leading up to it. I despise. I just I
Yeah.
despise that part. But the environmental part,
Yeah.
being in that element, being in that zone, I absolutely love that part. So definitely excited about the remainder of this summer and next year. You know, I really am. But couple things I want to talk about. I hate sitting in the stands with parents. I hate sitting in the stands with parents. The stuff that comes out of mouths during
Oh,
basketball games.
well, I just have one question. One
What
question
you
to all parents. No, no, seriously. And this stems from
I'm
a
getting
question.
there.
Well, not that part yet, but just it
Okay.
stems from a question that was asked to me about, or not question, but it was a statement from the I believe it was the Wisconsin coach of football, I believe, or basketball, one or two, and he made a comment. And he said when he go watch his kid, now he's a college level coach. I don't know if any of his kids have any aspirations of going to the next level after college, but I know our guys have the aspirations of going to college. So this is a guy who will have his hands on our guys or our future guys. He made a comment. He said when he goes to watch his kids play, he don't matter. It don't matter if it's AAU, YMCA, rec. I know YMCA is rec, but I'm just saying rec, the lowest level of rec. And in high school or middle school basketball, he goes and he just supports his kid. He watches, he doesn't yell, he doesn't. Now, I'm not saying every parent has to follow that blueprint, but if you're not going there with the intentions of just cheer your kid on, and at the same time, there's certain things that you can't do when you're cheering your kid on. Don't tell your kid to shoot because that takes away from the coach. Just go and cheer your kid when he does great things. When he makes that steal, when he gets a rebound, when he shoots the ball and makes it and goes in, when he's doing all those things that's going to keep him on the floor. I believe that's the things that we need to kind of put at the forefront and make sexy. Not the highlights of the dunks. Don't get me wrong. That does get you hyped up, but the other little things get sexy too.
I want to add to that, bro.
Go ahead.
So when I go to watch my youngest son, he plays with fadeaway. He's not with follow through, right? You said to cheer on your child.
Mm-hmm.
Cheer on the team. And here's why. If you cheer on the team and you're cheering on Johnny, Larry, Curly Moe,
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike, if you're cheering on all of them, right, it makes it easier when I guess you correct or something bad happens for a child that's not yours and you react or respond. Well, if you're the same parent that has been applauding, encouraging, and cheering that child on, now if they maybe make an errant pass, the parent of that child is going to be more receptive to your direction, pending that you're one of those parents that, cheer and coach and do all that. But man, I made my boys. So when we got done on Saturday, I looked at the bracket and I saw that Hoops Elite was in the Elite Eight. And so I'm like, yes, we get to go see a survive and advance game. And it's one of our guys from the house. Hey, let's go look at the big boys, right? Man, the stuff that was coming out of them stands on both sides, it was absolutely bonkers. And it was crazy. I watched a parent,
What do you
and
mean by bonkers? What do you mean?
I'm gonna tell you,
Explain a little bit what bonkers is, so everyone, so the audience knows what bonkers mean.
bonkers is false narratives. Just certain things that there's zero tolerance for. In a basketball game, I don't care what city or state in the United States of America that you're playing in, nowhere can you as a basketball player, especially in a live period event like this,
Mm-hmm.
can you ever turn around and tell a referee that's BS and think you're not going to be penalized?
Hold on, I got one better. I heard a parent tell the referee, "You suck."
Well,
Like,
this no, hold on. I'm getting ready to get some good. This
uh,
is a player on the court that
okay,
told the ref this and got tagged. And so after the game, I knew one of the coaches from the Superstars, and I'm sitting there talking to him, and he's about to choke one of his parents because the parent was steadily making the comments of the refs were sensitive, the refs. Now, mind you, this team won the game. Okay.
right.
And his parent is talking about the referees were sensitive. The referees said they need to get thicker skin. Dude, there's no skin needed. Your kid can't tell a referee that's BS. And not BS. He actually said the words that go for BS, right? You this is a live period event. This is an Elite Eight basketball game. There are
Mm-hmm.
referees that are in training trying to make Division I college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
They can't let that go, sir. That and he couldn't just get off it. And so for me, I'm sitting there and all I can think of, you're more worried that the referee tagged your son versus going off on your son. There's a baseline of coaches. Why the hell are you acting like this during this time? One, you
Mm-hmm.
should be acting like that ever, but be cognizant and aware of where you're at and what time it is right now.
Right.
Can't do that.
Right.
And he wasn't worried about correcting that behavior or addressing that behavior. He was more focused on the officiating. And that bothered me to the point that I'm talking about it right now. It bothered me. At some point in time, parents, we have to take ownership and accountability of the things that we can control. I tell my team all the time, like I said in the very beginning of this show, yes, you ever watch me coach a basketball game, you're going to see me work referees, but you're also going to see me tell my players, control what you can control, play as if they are not here. Because they're not turning the ball over. They're not missing the free throws. You're at the free throw line, which means they called a foul for you to get there. So I don't want to hear anything about the thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Right. Right.
so if we can get on that page as a basketball community of take our accountability first. What could we have controlled that we did not control? Let's talk about that the first 30 minutes after a ball game, and more so after a lost ball game, because it typically happens after a loss. if we can get on that page of accountability, man. But you know why we do it?
What's
Because
that?
you look at college games, you look at NBA games, and what's the first thing they're doing after the game that they lose? They're talking about the officiating. You
Right.
just shot 27% from the three-point line, and you're talking about officiating. Guys that get paid to do nothing but play basketball and shot 27% from the three-point line, 64% from the free throw line, and we're talking about officials? Come on, man. We gotta do better.
Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm, I'm gonna get off that soapbox. We gotta do
No,
better.
no, I agree with you. And I guess that's where we both trying to go to our last, part of the show where I hate to lead with negativity, but at the same time, I'm gonna try to find some positivity in this. And again, I don't know, and that's why I'm not going to speak all on it. I'm just going to speak on the fact that there was an incident here in the city while we were all gone. That just the video, just I don't know the whole story, so I'm not going to try to be like who's wrong and who's right. But those things can't be in sports, youth sports. That can't be in youth sports, man.
So
And again, I don't know what happened.
I do.
Uh, I'm not the judge. I'm not the jury. But again, those things can happen, man. And the only reason why I say this because the young people that we're trying to bring up are impressionable. So that's why I harp on parents not getting crazy at the stands because guess what I got to do as a coach. I got to deal with that kid when he's not liking a call from a referee and he's just what you talked about and it's talking about well hey that ref is full of whatever. No, that ref's not full of whatever, man. Listen. How many jobs do you know that you literally can go to and tell a person he sucks at his job? Just think about that. Give me one job. Give me one job besides the army
and
that an
so
outsider can come in and tell them that they suck at their job, and then I'll leave it alone.
and so you remember last week on our show, and I told you about my incident and what happened. Do you remember?
Yeah, of course.
Remember I told you what made me come out of pocket?
Yep.
What was it?
The fact that the referee says,
It had
what was
nothing to
it?
do with the referee.
What
It
was it?
was adults addressing children and going after and targeting children. Remember I told you my nephew, the parent that stood up and is yelling at his son,
Oh yeah,
hit him
yeah.
harder,
Watch
hit
the
him
game.
harder,
Yeah, you said,
hit him
hey,
harder, take him out.
when you said, hey,
So
if you gonna make me come out of
yeah,
uncle,
I'm
uncle.
Uncle Michael
Right,
before I am Director Michael.
right,
I'm a work in progress, right? I'm
right.
not perfect. I got my flaws. But at the end of the damn day, I'm Uncle Michael and I'm Dad Michael before I'm anything out here in this world. So the unfortunate and good God Almighty, unfortunate, to see that video, I was pissed for a few reasons. How much time we got? We got time?
Yeah, we got time. I was got time,
Okay.
man.
I was pissed for a few reasons when I see this video. I was pissed, number one, because I saw organizational directors,
Mm-hmm.
coaches of programs posting it. Why am I pissed at that?
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was your team and it was your parents, would you have had that same energy of posting and talking noise, right? That's pissivity level number one.
Mm-hmm.
Pissivity level number two is, again, from the sources that I spoke with, I've got my sources, as media individuals, we allowed to have our sources. Parents, again, attacking children. And you can take you're a pretty calm dude. I'm not a calm dude, so we can't use me, but I'll use you. I consider you to be a pretty calm dude. But got my mind went blank. What's your nephew's name?
James.
James. I guarantee a grown up, grown ass man attacking James, there's gonna be a different Eric Talley that is seen and shown. When I'm watching this video, and I know a lot of the people in the video, and I'm thinking in my head, what? And I said, well, there's only one thing that makes sense here. And so when I get the stories I don't know what makes parents think that one, you can talk at another child on another team. Stop that. Stop
Yeah,
that. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Two, there are coaches and there are officials and there are tournament directors on site that if something happens amongst children, folks, on a basketball court where contact is allowed, well, not allowed, but contact happens, excuse me, on the allowance part. Incidents are happening amongst children. Let those coaches and those officials take care of it. Stop coming on courts. It's not right. Those are children involved in those incidents. There's no reason for a parent to need to want to attack a child for a situation with the child on child happening. Stop that.
thanks.
And so, again, like I stated with the other situation, we have to do better because, like I told you just last week, man, Eric, it was a hell of a mistake that I made, and I lost my cool because I forgotten that split second. Hey, your director, but hey, that's my 15-year-old damn nephew. It's grown ass man. You out your rabbit mind.
Yeah,
But it wasn't on the court, it was off to the sideline, and it was a grown man that I
right,
went and checked, right? We got to do better. That situation that happened, it's unfortunate and it's scary because that was a melee, man. And children are standing there watching it. Dads coming to defenses, moms coming to defenses. And it's an unfortunate and it's a sad situation that I don't wish on any program.
right,
I don't talk negatively about anybody in the city, but one program and one program only, and that's STX and Antron Evans. And he knows why.
I don't know them, so I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
said it. I said it. I'm letting you
I
know I
don't know
said it.
them. But
But I don't wish what happened there on even him and his I don't wish that on any program. You don't want to see anything like that ever happen to any program, E.
yeah,
And parents attacking children, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all that type of response is gonna happen every day of the week.
right,
We we have to do better, E. We
right.
have to do better. And so to try to spin this to a positive, that one incident, it sucks that it happened because it overshadows all the great, you know, DBA who was involved in it, along with Rebel Way. Those are the two teams involved. Poor DBA has to deal with the repercussions of this negativity after their 17 you just went and won up at the Dallas Gasso. And it's just unfortunate for a program to have to endure that type of publicity and negativity, and I don't wish that on anybody. Uh, but we have to do better, folks. Parents, leave other people's children alone. Please. Please leave other people's children alone. Take care of yours, take care of you. Leave other people's children alone. If I got anything as a closing, leave other people's children alone, folks. Please.
Well, that's why I say, man, if you go in worrying about yours, all the other stuff it'll fix itself. It'll fix itself. So that's why I started off to say, hey man, it's one thing I did, man. When I go watch my kids, when my son tried the basketball thing when he did, hey man, I didn't cheer for no other kid. I'm sorry, I didn't. I cheered for my son. I watched him play, and when he didn't perform like he wanted to, I didn't say anything to anybody else. I pulled him aside and said, hey man, you're not playing well, or hey, we need to do this, or go work in the lab, yada yada yada. When my daughter played volleyball, I didn't go watch no one else. I didn't clap when anyone else served or won a point. I didn't. I
And,
watched
and,
my
and
daughter
there's
play.
nothing wrong with that.
No, but I'm saying because for me, I don't want to worry about everybody else. I want to focus on mine. Why mine is there? Mine is there for a reason. Mine is there not to start no trouble. You know, I was where was we was somewhere. Oh, I was running a tournament with Eugene, and a little
Love,
incident
love
was
that.
starting a little happen here. You know, and I kind of saw it. And my first question I always ask players: are you here to play basketball or to fight? That's all I ask you. If you're here to fight or play basketball, because if you're here to fight, that's easy. Hey, coach, he got to go. He's the easy removal. That's easy. Hey, coach, this kid can't play anymore because he's here to, again, yes, basketball is unfortunately is a contact sport. There's parts of basketball that you will have contact in. So yes, you will. Little Johnny's going to get knocked to the ground. It's going to get physical just because it is a contact sport and everybody wants to win if you're going against the right teams. So with that being said, but I just don't like it when again parents take it out of the hands of the players on the court and do those things. So that's why I said that. But yeah, good points. Well, look, man. I'm not going to let us ever leave on a bad note or a sour note. But for me, and I'll let you do your closing. But for me, my closing, since we talked about it, I don't need to dwell on that. Is to wish my guy, my mentor, Tim Littlefield, a happy birthday today. Today is his birthday, so I wanted to make sure. Hey, man, I know we didn't do the live because we didn't do the Facebook deal, but we still doing it to where though this will be put out tomorrow. And hey, man, happy birthday! I hope you had a great day. Again, great, phenomenal job you did this past weekend, and what you're doing for youth sports here in San Antonio and in Texas. Go ahead, Mike.
This will be a selfish shout out. Typically, I acknowledge everybody, which I always am. Much love to everybody. I tried to show as much love to San Antonio teams this past weekend as I could. Just being in the stands and letting the coaches know, hey, we here. Uh, but this shout out is to Super Sports Media, you, Eric Talley, Tim Littlefield, Blue, director of Gasso, and then the few college coaches that had conversations with me this weekend and came and watched the guys, right? Thank you. Because 128 teams at the SWAC and Eric Talley of Super Sports Media took time to come and capture some moments of follow through. Tim Littlefield of the Gasso took time to come and capture moments and acknowledge follow through. Blue, the guidance provided for my 2026 team as we've been moving along this path, right? And then the college coaches that saw and gave some recognition, had some conversations, asked some questions, got some answers, and then came and saw the product, right? Thank you, because when I'm driving and, got back in Sunday night, unpacked, repacked, here I am in Vegas, decompressing, getting everything in order and getting ready to receive my 26s and my 29s. Both of them are playing this week up here. The list that we're getting ready to face, right? Uh, just thank you to those people that continue to support. Thank you to my follow through organization, specifically my 26s and my 29s parents, for the continued trust in riding with me along this journey, enduring all the bumps along the way. To my players that have been putting in work for these moments, for the opportunities to be recognized and to get their shine. And then to every individual that has texted me, said a prayer for follow through, contributed monetarily with donations to ensure that we can get where we need to be. Thank you. The support is beyond appreciated. We thank you enough, and we can't just we can't say enough thanks. And so thank you to everybody that follows and just shows love to the follow through brand. Thank you guys. Thank you for the push. Thank you for the encouraging words. Just thank you.
honestly, man, you're welcome. And what you do, and like I was saying, man, I got to pass the torch eventually. And all the great things that you accomplished and you're doing for the city. It's just, hey, man, you definitely the right guy for the job, man. So I want to just make sure you know that we appreciate you. We appreciate you because this little this little bit of pie we got. We need it. We need it. We need you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So but yeah, man, thank you for taking the time out your schedule because you up there in Vegas enjoying yourself. You're 2 hours behind, so it's whatever time it is now. It's 2 hours from there, so 12, I think here, right? 12:30, 1
Yeah.
o'clock.